buildings are going to look like. And I think back to election day. It was either 2 or 3 days before election when all of a sudden there were these walls that went up in front of bicycles. And there was some truck movement. And there was some dirt that was moved around. And the same thing happened over where the art center is. There were walls that were put up to give it the impression that there was actually going to be something happening real soon. And I thought to myself, now I see these little signs with Sterling Properties on it, so I guess maybe something's really happening again. And I'm saying, I'm starting to become a little facetious, and I'm thinking, is this rope-a-dope? Am I now going to be rope-a-dope for another 5 years, thinking that something's actually going to happen? I start to wonder, what are the properties really sold? Now that the art center is open, who's actually going to be the person that's operating it? Who is the person who is going to be operating that Claire's Theater? I beg your pardon, Clearview. Who's actually going to be the person that's going to make the money out of that? I'm starting to wonder, who are the people that are actually going to be making money from this redevelopment here in the village? I'm wondering why the person down at Exxon is being asked if he can have an easement on his property when there are other properties that could easily be utilized that may be owned by other people. And I start to question, maybe it would be a good time for the village trustees to do an investigation as to who in the village will personally profit. Who's personally going to profit by all these developments that are being made? Are there any members of the board that have a conflict of interest? I wonder. I sit here as a resident paying my taxes, and I see things that go on that I don't understand. I know that I'm told it's only going to cost $250,000 for a piece of art, and the artist's rendering that I look at is abysmal. It looks like when I was taking geometry in high school, pi r squared. And I see that that's going to change the original. I don't know how much money. I guess I'm going to have to do some homework. How much money it actually costs to have the Atlantic Group come in and do the original study. I remember that there was something about towers. There was supposed to be a look of towers, and then we had the Muse built. Then the apartment buildings were built. And then the actual gazebo was supposed to reflect that. But now the gazebo is going to be gone. And the gazebo is going to be replaced by modern art. And here's a great picture. Here's the artist's rendering. There was I believe that the village, in its wisdom, back in 1994, when the Atlantic Group was first called in, wanted to give the village the feeling of the village. And I question, what is the feeling of the town? When all of a sudden is there no place else that we could put this? Do we need to destroy what's there? It's not just the $250,000 that it's going to cost to buy a replica. And this is not an original, this is a replica.
You keep talking about a replica. You know what a replica is?
Yes, it's not the original.
When an artist, we happen to be living.
Oh, listen.
Let me tell you something.
I'm going to know.
Let me tell you something.
No,
please.
Then you have. When the board is giving me permission to come up and speak, let me finish. I pay my taxes, and you're elected, and you're elected by the group of people out here, and me as well.
But then speak honestly.
I am speaking honestly.
Well then,
I am speaking honestly, and you don't like it.
When a lithograph is issued these days, and there are 100 copies, okay? Are they all replicas, or are they all originals?
The original is the original. The others are 1 of 100, 2 of 100.
This is 1 of 3.
Okay. Congratulations, 1 of 3. If you want to have this piece of art and you really love it, find a better place. Why do we have to destroy something that's there, that actually is within the guidelines of the original plan, that is not 1 of 3, which was designed for the space? Why can't you put it someplace else?
No.
This is
the Atlantic Group gave us not a concept plan of how the town should be developed. It gave us a concept on the directions we should be traveling to improve South Orange. It gave us an idea that you should have a movie theater in town, told that you should have high-density housing in the village center. Had nothing to do with the redesign of how the streets and how the properties would look.
In other words, when I saw that artist rendering of what Sloan Street was going to look like, the picture that I am now looking at,
Did not come from the
this
Raymond
was
Group.
not, no, but this was not an artist rendering?
No.
It did not come
No, they
from...
just went down and said, guys, build whatever you want.
No. A lot of it was done by a lot of volunteers in this community, and
Okay.
ultimately the village paid for it. A lot of it was done by Main Street and their design committee group. They did a lot on South Orange Avenue. A lot of this was done by volunteers 12 years ago.
Okay, so
The picture
fantastic.
that
So we
he-
had volunteers do this, and we came up with a beautiful design. How much did it cost to do that? Did it cost $100, $200?
You mean the whole project?
No,
And it-
this particular gazebo.
I have
And the
no
fountain
idea.
behind it.
I have no
You have no
idea.
idea. So and I'm not blaming you for not knowing because I don't know either. I know you're the village president. I don't expect you to know more than me. The fact that the original building that was constructed there had some intrinsic value, and we're told that the one of three, in other words, an original one of three, the $250,000 masterpiece that we're going to have has to go in the location where we've already spent money. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, it's not what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is on that piece, because I'm a man that really likes simplicity, I put here, save Sloan Street. Stop the tap. Because that's all I want to do. I'm here tonight, there's a lot of things that bother me. The thing that really bothers me the most is when I come back from the train station, I know you go up the same train as me sometimes, you get off the train, all of a sudden you come back and you pick up and you go, what the heck is this? They're going to change what's there to this? And I have to pay for it? I would rather that we don't have an original. So I don't know, I would like to hear from the board in there, I would like to hear from the board, how do we go about stopping this?
If I may answer, before you answer the question, we ask the question how. We have first to decide whether we do or not. So ask that question first.
Okay, do we have to do this?
Does this board want to have that?
Does this board want to have it? Tell me how you want me to phrase the question, and I will phrase the question. Does this board want to have the town?
Yes.
Excuse me?
That's the right question.
And what is the correct answer?
I don't have an answer for the board.
Well, what is your answer?
My answer is yes.
You want it?
Yes.
Because? Why do you want the town, and why do you want to knock down what's there?
Sorry. I am not here to answer questions that I have already answered many, many times.
You told me to ask you the right question.
Ask this board, I said, not me. Ask the board to make a decision, and the board will decide if they want to make a decision on that and when. Not me.
Well, do you have to take a vote right now for me to ask the board?
That's if the board
We've
wants.
answered it before.
What is the
And
answer?
it's not monolithic. I like the sculpture, I would prefer a different location.
All right. So you prefer a different location. Could I have a raise of hands? Who would like a different location on the board?
Please, I appreciate you up there, but you're getting a little bit too far out in left field here now.
I don't think I'm too far left
You
field.
are. You're very condescending when you talk to the people on the board, and you're
He asked me to ask him a question, Bill.
Well, the question was asked, and the board answered it many times. Not everybody's going to be 100% agreement on every part of this particular sculpture, but then the board's agreement that the sculpture is going in.
In that place.
That's the decision was made because the state, which is donating it, which everybody keeps on questioning the definition of donating, would like to see a place, and the board, this board or other boards have agreed to it.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it's going to take to stop it. If you have to go to court, or if you have to have a petition, or if we have to have an article in the Star Ledger, I will do everything I can to stop that, and I would ask people to, and I thank you very much for your time.